Good afternoon. Today is the 5th of April, about 3:06 p.m. here in New York, and let us do our fourth day of C#. Well, let's see what we want to do today. I think we were working with the application wherein I was showing you about the framework that we would like to build, and while doing that, we were, I think that was the one we were working on. Okay, so let's see. Yeah. Let me close. Don't know. Anybody recall what was the name of the application that we were using to do the testing? Because I, for one, I don't remember that. Let's see. Here. Sorry about that. So, okie dokie. All right. So this is basically what we were working on, and so you could, I mean, it really doesn't matter which application. What we can do is I can basically walk you through with any functionality, and the rest you could do it yourself. All right, so as we noticed, this is what we were working on yesterday, and if you recall, I had the login test created. So here is your login test, which as I was giving you the example of how the helper functions they work. So I kind of like created the helper functions, and inside the helper functions we created this template of what needs to come in here in terms of the Excel and CSV and database and taking of the screenshots and log results and stuff like that. But in order to prove the concept, I had created two functions, and those two functions were exposed as the methods of the object when we instantiated it. So we used addition and subtraction, and as you can see, I had instantiated that class, and from that class I used the addition object and passed two parameters to it, and those parameters were coming from here, and we had hard-coded that, and but then we passed it, and then we read the value from the internal function inside the helper functions, and basically we reported it in the console window. Okay, this was again a proof of concept. Nothing, something that we could put it to use. So what we're going to be doing today is designing that framework in the helper function. So I'm going to let go of that addition and subtraction and all that. So I'm just going to simply delete that from here. And or we could sort of like comment it so that they don't come into play. And over here, since everything has been commented, so the whole thing would just needs to be commented as well. And we come back to our original script, which is this part of it, right? So I will uncomment that, and let's see what we have. So OWD as in WebDriver also needs to be, unless here it is. So this needs to be uncommented. Okay, so everything good. So this test would take the data, hard-coded data from here, and then work like 3 times, right? So the hard-coded data that we wanted to pass was coming, that would be the phone number and the password. So if I have to pull it back, I would say that it's a string, and this is the phone number and the string password. Okay. So, okay, now what we will do is we will see as how we could use the framework here, wherein I will create these functions, and these functions will be used. These functions are created in this class. They'll be used in this class. or any other classes that they would be coming in here. So I'm going to do it for the login test, and I think one of you, I don't exactly remember who, but one of you had submitted the assignments that I gave out to you folks yesterday. Yeah, here. So I probably would be able to use this. Let me just take a look and see. So this is the code that you have created, and hopefully it's a working code. If it is functional, then I'm going to take this code and we will parameterize it and all that. So the script is there. So as how to create the script and all that, well, you should know it by this time. So I'm going to do it simply for this script right now, for this phone and all that, and then later on I'm going to take your script which you have created, and we will parameterize it. Of course, the way we're going to be doing that is using different things. Okay, to start off, yesterday we have done this. We have hard-coded the information. So if I have to go and look into the data that can be passed, the data that can be passed to that script, I need to know the exact data. So the exact data for that would be, I know, as a matter of fact, one thing that I know here is this is going to be a phone number. So I know one phone number, 732-998-6650. That's one phone number. And since it's of the type string, so I got to be passing the password also is a string, and that's that. So this is one set of data that we have hard-coded. Now if I got to go and then get the other sets of data that I cannot remember because that was my phone number and my password, so I remember that. If I have to look into some other set of data, then I have to run a query here. This has nothing to do with databases yet, right? Which we will be covering soon today, but I'm doing all this to get the data that I intend to use, right? So if I have to take the data, then I can take one of the data here is okay, that's the phone number, right? So, and the password is Alex123. So that's the second iteration. Second iteration would be that, and the password would be Alex123, right? And that's the second iteration. I'll take one more, and then nothing new so far. All that was working yesterday, so I'm just going to take that as a third, and password is password. Okay, so that's my third argument that or the parameter that I would be passing. Password is password. So this is all hard-coded. Nothing that we should be proud of because it's all hard-coded, and the data should never be a part of your test case. So this is just the proof of concept, just to make sure that you understand, how things would work, and then we will start to enhance right from here. And the enhancement is basically putting the data into a Excel, and then getting the data from Excel. Likewise, putting the data into a CSV and getting it from there, and then putting the data into what is called a database and fetching it from there. All that as a part of the framework. Okay, so that why as a part of the framework? Because next time if we do anything with a different test case, we don't really have to disturb the framework, because that code is going to remain consistent. Any project you work on, any test cases you work on, what you need to do is just change the data in Excel or the CSV, excuse me, and things would work. Okay, so this is what we would do. Hang out here for a second. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I will run this right now, and in order to run it, I got to go and then build it, and after I build it, I'm gonna